Good evening, people of the internet, and today I'm going to be showing you a tour of my 700-day Minecraft Forever world. So, starting off the tour, I'm going to take you guys to the first place that I built in this world. And to get to that place, we come through this little stone monument, and this takes us into my day one starter cave. Now, in the cave, we have my bedroom, and this is simply, it's very basic at the minute, nothing's been detailed, this is still yet to be finished, but this was a naturally formed cave, which I found on day one in this world, and I decided to turn it into my starter home. Now, as you can see in my starter home, we have a basic bedroom with a bed, the Ender Dragon egg, which obviously we've easily defeated because we're extremely good at the game. Wow! We have some armor stands here with various armor, and if we come down here, we actually have my original storage system. Now, I built this on the first day just to get me going in this cave, and as you can see, everything's quite basic, very stripped back. My plan is to make it really detailed and really nice. I just got so sidetracked over projects, I'm yet to finish it. Now, coming through here, this was originally going to be my storage system, but unfortunately, I ended up building a massive mansion on the other side of the world, and that's now where my items are stored. So this place is currently vacant, and if you've got any suggestions for what I can put here, leave them down below. Now over here we have my original, so we say, super smelter, and it simply is 6 furnaces, which is where I used to smelt all my stuff, and an extremely outdated to-do list, which most of these things have now been finished. Now over here, this part of the cave is completely empty, and my plan is to turn this into sort of a lush indoor cave oasis with moss and a river and a lake and a waterfall, but we'll get around to that. Now coming out of the day one starter cave, we actually come to my first farm.
You want to make a bit of money? You should do what I did. Get into farming.
And this is simply a wheat field, and it started out of life as these two fields here, and as you can see over time, it has gradually got bigger and bigger, and it's going to get even bigger. Now on top of that wheat field, we have what used to be my sort of old cow pen where I used to keep my cows before I built my barn, which I'll show you guys just in a second. And in here, as you can see, this is my storage for some wheat, some seeds, and some bone meal, but very quickly I outgrew this and I built a bigger one. Now coming just outside of this little brick hut, we actually are going to go down towards the barn. Now coming into the barn, as you can see, we have some little logs here just for decoration, a campfire and a nice little flower bed. And going inside, we have a cow pen, and originally this actually used to be a cow and a sheep pen, but I ended up building a wool farm, so I didn't actually need the sheep anymore. So I ended up turning it into 2 cow pens, but unfortunately some of them have gone to heaven, should we say, because I needed some leather for bookshelves, and as you can see, there's their remains. Now in the barn again, we just have some various details and some little storage here, and if we go upstairs, we actually have a nice little bed where you can look and sort of look out onto the world and see all of the builds that we've done, and I think it's just quite a nice little view, to be honest. Now dropping down from the barn, we actually come into my horse stables, and I built the barn first, and then I thought I need somewhere to put my horses. So what I did is I just extended the barn, and I actually ended up knocking through this wall here, doing some sort of Nick Knowles DIY SOS, if you know what I mean.
Actually joined everybody as they've come up for breakfast.
We're going to grab some... Wait, do you want something?
Yeah, bacon butty. Lovely, that's me sorted. My body is not a temple like Gethings, it's a little bit more an outbuilding.
And we built the horse stables, and over here we have my horse, and he's called Clem Fandango.
This is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
And if you know where that's from, you're a G, leave a comment down below and I'll drop you a like. Now coming away from the horse, we have some water pens where I take a drink when I'm thirsty, and over here we actually managed to get a zombie horse, and I was building my mansion, which I'll show you guys later, and he simply just spawned in. I think it was either a zombie or a skeleton riding it. I think it was a zombie, and I was like, I had to get that, so I ended up killing it. I kept the horse, but I need a name for him, so if you got a name for him, leave it down below. And obviously on top of that, we've got some other horses as well, which are just here for decoration, but they just look quite cool. Now coming out of the horse stables, we go into this sort of lush little area here, and we've got a nice little pond. That's the wool farm there, which I'll show you guys just later. But coming after that, we have the tree farm. Now you might think at first, this doesn't look like a tree farm. Now coming into this door here, we do have the tree farm, and as you can see, I've built the tree farm in and around the house. And the way that I do this is I tend to build the farm first, and then I'll build the house around it. So as you can see, if we go down here, we have a nice little glass barricade to stop you falling down. The actual TNT tuber for the farm is up there, and it drops down, and then it drops on the wood down there. And of course, we have a temporary storage solution for various blocks, which I used to build the house as well as the farm, and a bed for where I can sleep at night. And if we drop down here, this takes you down to the storage section of the farm where I keep all of the wood and saplings. And if we go up the scaffolding here, you can see here's the underside of the farm, and obviously the storage for the bone meal. Now coming out of the tree farm, it takes you onto this terrace, and as you can see on this terrace, we've got a nice little bridge here which leads you over to the smelter. Now coming over here towards the super smelter, we actually have a fountain, and originally this used to be the drop chute for my zombie farm, which is just below here, but it looked really ugly, so I decided to get rid of it, and I turned the area into a nice fountain. Now just past the fountain, we have this building here, and I built this just completely on the fly. There was no planning involved, no planning permission from the local council, and I simply just grabbed a random selection of blocks and started placing them, and this is what I ended up with. And if we come up this staircase here, we have a little bit of a rooftop oasis where we can sort of think about things and have a nice, you know, drink and a sit down and overlook my house, which is over there, which we'll get to later. Now coming into this room here, we have a very vacant space, and I'm not quite sure what to put here yet, so if you've got any suggestions, leave them down below. Now coming back down the stairs, we're actually going to go into the super smelter itself now, and if we come just through this door, we've got another bed, and I tend to put a bed in every build just so I know there's always somewhere for me to sleep when it gets to night. And if we come inside here, you can see I've actually got a bamboo farm. Now this bamboo farm is activated by an observer automatically, so when the bamboo grows, it activates the observer, which will sit on the end, and then it sends the flying machine across, and it harvests all the bamboo. It gets picked minecart. Coming down these stairs here, as you can see, this leads us to the actual super smelter itself, and all of the bamboo's collected. It's then put into the furnaces, ready to be smelted. You drop your items in that minecart, and it takes 28 seconds to smelt a stack of items.
Very nice.
More than I could ever need. Now coming through this door here, just to the right of the farm, we actually have the overflow storage for the bamboo. And obviously the farm collects the bamboo, there's quite a lot of it, and when the furnaces and hoppers are full, the extra bamboo is put away into these chests, ready to be distributed when the farm is running again. Now if we come out of this farm, just up this other staircase here, you can see it from the other side. It's quite a cool build, and this actually gives you a nice view of my mansion, which I'll show you guys just a second. Now walking over here towards the mansion, I've kept this area completely vacant because my plan is to turn it into like a really posh sort of estate house. So all of this is going to be like striped grass, you know, freshly mown. It's going to look really, really nice, really well kept. We're going to have some lovely bushes, maybe a pond or a lake, and it's going to look sick. Now coming up the house here, we're going to walk into the main entrance hall, and a lot of this house isn't finished yet because it's quite a big build, and I've been taking my time on it because I wanted it to be really cool. But we walk in here and we have a nice grand entrance hall.
Wow. It looks great.
Which is typical of the sort of medieval, I don't know, Tudor sort of times, you know, wooden beams, grand opening hall. We have various paintings of past rulers of the world, such as Pinocchio and Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm gonna get in the plums.
After this then takes you into the storage room. Now, walking through here into the storage room, we've got a nice little hallway with various armor stands and paintings, and this takes you into the storage room. And in here, we have another bed. And I wanted to make this sort of like an oasis, a nice little, it was more or less based around the idea of a greenhouse. So as you can see, if we walk down here, we actually have an entire glass roof and walls, which is meant to be a greenhouse. And I ended up building a storage system in here. And as you can see, everything's fairly well kept, fairly sorted. We've got anvils and ender chests, some random shulker boxes, but this is where I keep all of my items ready for the big builds to come. And on the back side of the storage room, we have a little indoor pond which leads down to a cave, because why not? It's cool, so I kept it. Now coming back out into the entrance hall, we actually have this unfinished room here, and my plan for this room is potentially I'm going to fireplace, maybe a library, maybe a kitchen. I'm not sure yet, so leave your suggestions down below. Now the rest of the house isn't actually finished yet because it's quite a big build and it's taken me quite a lot of time, and because I want to spice things up, I keep taking time in between builds, so I'll do a little bit of the house, I'll then go and do something else just to keep it fresh, and that's just so I don't get burnt out. Now it's actually turning to night time, so I'm just going to sleep quickly just so we can get a fresh day. Now coming out of the house, I'm now going to show you guys the original zombie farm, which is one of the first things I ever built in this world as my sort of starter early XP farm. Now going back over here past the super smelter once again, this brings us to this clock tower, and in this clock tower, this actually takes us down to the original zombie XP farm, which I built really early on in the world before I ended up building an Enderman. And if we walk inside here really quickly, as you can see, we've got a nice spiral staircase going up, and if we walk up here, this takes us to the top of the clock tower where we can overlook the world and look back on all of the wonderful builds that we have made so far. Now dropping down back to the bottom of the clock tower, this trapdoor takes you to the zombie farm. So if we go down here, through this really boring hallway, this actually takes us to the original day one zombie farm which I built to help me get XP before I managed to end. And as you can see, there's zombies in there, there's also a skeleton spawner in there, there's like a dual spawner, so I put them together, made this XP farm on a basic enchantment table, and it did the job. Now coming back out of the zombie farm, past my fountain which I built, which just looks really, really cool, we're actually going to go to my villager breeder. Now, this house here is my villager breeder, and this was one of the, I think it was the second or third thing I built in the world. And as you can see from the outside, I've done a typical me thing again. I build the farm first, and then I build a house around it to disguise it and blend it in with the environment. Now, going in here up this staircase, this takes us to the actual farm itself. You can go in here, And you can see that this is the actual farm. We have the villager in here. He's farming some crops right now, producing us many babies.
The baby Jesus.
To be used in many trading activities. And I will now show you guys where I keep them. So coming into here, we have my temporary villager trading system. And I press that button and it sends a minecart. It picks up one of the villagers, as you can see through here. It'll pick up the villagers down there, bring them back into here, ready for me to do some trading. And this isn't going to be their permanent home. I'm actually going to move all of these villagers over to the market stalls over there, which I'll show you in just a second. But as you can see from the villagers, we have various trades going on. Most of them are maxed out. We've got the typical melon and pumpkin trades. We've got some golden carrots to keep us on the food. And we've got various librarian villagers for mending and efficiency. Now, coming just away from the villager farm, we actually end up in my melon and pumpkin farm. And I built this farm really early on, but I didn't build the house around it until much later on. So as you can see, there's a beetroot field here, which is going to be expanded later in the day. We also have a wooden tractor, which makes complete sense, I know. And this brings us onto this sort of terrace area which I built, which I sort of wanted it to overlook what's going to be a harbour, lets you get a good view of all the builds, and that then takes you inside to the melon and pumpkin farm. And as you can see in here, we have pumpkins on the one side, melons are over there. Now this farm is actually 2 levels deep, so we have exactly the same farm, but below it again to get us double the drops. And as you can see, it works really well. And to be honest, we're actually running out of storage. We should probably expand that soon. And when the items are dropped, they land in the water stream and they get transported through some hoppers, which then comes up this chimney, across here, and into the sorter. Now over here, just outside the melon and pumpkin farm, I thought it would make complete sense to build a fake melon and pumpkin farm on the outside to give you the effect of what they're farming in the area. So my idea for this was I wanted it to be sort of like a Spanish vineyard, so I placed them in various random orientations and places, and I added some fence posts and some lanterns in, and some bushes, just to give it that sort of Spanish vineyard feel. Now coming down here, once again past the farm, down this desire path, which we would call it in England, this brings us to the mini sort of dock area, where, in my plan for the world is the melon and pumpkins have grown here, we're then exporting them out to various places, and this is the ship, which is obviously piloted by Captain Jack Sparrow.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt, I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
Which is sending our crops all across the world. Now coming over here, we have actually a new district of the world, and I didn't build this too long ago. This is actually my iron farm, and as you can see, I've themed the builds around sort of a blacksmith and sort of producing iron, trying to make it fit in with the theme. And if we go inside here, this is actually my storage area for all of my iron. And as you can see in here, we have enough iron to last us for many years, and a lot of backup too. And if we go just out here into this next house, which is just across the street, you can see, there we are, this is where the iron golems spawn. They all spawn in here, unfortunately fall to their death, and then they are turned into iron ingots, which then comes up this water stream, across the hoppers, and into the chests. And over here, we just have some little decorations, such as like a traveller's, what do you call it? A traveller's wagon. We have a nice little pond over here, and my bridge. And this actually takes us over to the slime farm. Now in here we have my slime farm, which once again we've got just a nice little basic interior. We've got a little bedroom up here, which I still need to put a bed in. And if we go back downstairs, we actually end up where the slime farm is. So in here, it's a really simple design, and I didn't know that this existed. I'm used to mining down to like Y40, mining out a big area, letting all the slime spawn in there, and you sort of like an old school slime farm, or just going to a swamp and getting them. But I didn't know that you can actually place snow golems, use a splash potion of oozing, and then they get transformed into slime. So they then fall down here, I can stand here, kill them with my sword. It doubles them as an XP farm, and as you can see, we've got lots of slime, and it's really easy to build, and it works really well as well. Now coming out of the slime farm, we end up on this terrace here, which we can overlook my nice rustic bridge which I built. I wanted this bridge to sort of have that old school feel, like it had been there for many years, and it's, you know, it's still standing after 300 years of being there. Over here, just around the back of the slime farm, we have a little balcony. I want to build a little barbecue area here, and maybe like a little pond, and make it sort of like a chill spot where you can come out and hang. Now coming back over here, we're actually going to go across the bridge, and as you can see, it's just a really basic bridge, basic materials, but it's just a nice touch to have in the world. Now coming back through the barn, if we just go through it here, this takes us actually into the market area. Now like I said earlier, I'm going to be moving all of the villagers into this market area, and this is going to be my trading area. So we're going to have a villager in each of these pods here, going to be various trades. So we're going to have maybe farmers in here, maybe librarians in here, and what's the other one? Fletchers or something like that. And I'm going to keep all of my villagers in this area so it's easy to trade, as well as looking like a really cool place to be. Now down here, if we come just outside the dock, we have this crane which is going to be exporting iron into a boat. Once again, similar to the melon pumpkins, I've got the idea of that we're producing the product and then sending it across the world for people to use. We just have various details here like anvils, another stack of iron to be sent out, and we actually have this sort of castle.
King in the castle, king in the castle.
Story behind this is that I built the market stalls and I built the horse stables, but I needed something to go in this area in between and I wasn't sure what to build. So I came up with the idea, I built this sort of archway, and then I thought, you know what, why don't I build like a castle ruin area? So I ended up building this sort of castle turret which looks, you know, quite broken and run down, and with a little sort of blacksmith area inside. A temporary storage solution just because you can't have enough chests in the world, you know what I mean, guys? And you can actually come up here, and once again you've got another little balcony where you can overlook the world. We've got a tower which you can actually go up. We've got a bed in here, and if we go all the way to the top of the tower, once again you've got another viewpoint of the world. Now, coming just through the horse stables again and past the tree farm, past my lovely oasis, we're actually going to go into the wool farm. So here's the wool farm here, and this build I built on the fly again. No planning permission from the council, no ideas. I just winged it as I went along, just placed blocks, and this is what came out of my head. And if you go down here, we have this sort of I don't know what you call it, medieval courtyard area where we've actually got all of the different types of wool constantly being sheared, constantly getting us a supply of wool to use in builds. And yeah, it's just a really cool build, and I think it turned out quite well. Now we are going to sleep quickly because it is just becoming night. Give ourselves a nice little slumber. Where's my bed? Here we go. Now whilst I'm just going to the next build, guys, as you can see if you look in the top left, we're on day 719. Just so you guys that I'm not faking it, I have played on this world for just over 700 days. And you might be thinking, well, it doesn't actually look like there's a lot in the world. And to be honest, no, there isn't, because a lot of Minecrafters like to rush and do things at a million miles an hour, and they've got these massive builds that, you know, they do in like 4 seconds. But I just play the game. I like to enjoy it. I like to take my time and just, you know, play the game for what it is and not rush to do everything. Just over from the wool farm, we actually have these 3 little terraced houses, and obviously I live in England. So I wanted to build something quite close to home, so I thought, what's better than a set of terraced houses? So in these terraced houses, if we actually go inside, this is where I keep my cobblestone farm. And as you can see, it's really simple design. We simply just have a TNT duper which drops the TNT down into the lava. It breaks the cobblestone, that's collected by some hoppers, and it goes chests. And if we come down this little spiral staircase once again, as you can see, I've got a theme. I quite like spiral staircases. We've got a load of chests here full of cobblestone, and all of this cobblestone probably took like 5 minutes to do. It's a really, really quick, really, really easy and efficient farm to have. Now, coming out of the terraced houses, we actually have this build here, which is not finished, and I'm not actually quite sure what I want to put in it. As you can see, there's a sign here which just says courtyard. I'm probably going to have like a mini blacksmith, maybe sort of like a woodworking shop or carpenters here. But inside, I'm not sure what to put in here, guys. So if you have any suggestions for a farm which we can put in here, leave them down below. Now, doing full circle and coming back to the start cave, as you can see, here's the outside. And I built this really early on in the world because I wanted to use brick, which is a material which I don't really use that often. So we built this mini little turret here, and this was going to be my sort of horse stables. But obviously, as you can see, I built the barn and that overtook. Now, I've come to the top of this hill here, guys, because on this hill, I want to build a massive castle where it's going to overlook the world, overlook the medieval village, and it's going to be the sort of ruler of the world and sort of where the king and queen will live. So in the next episode, I might potentially start building the castle, or I might move the villagers over to the market stores and get the trading system in full send. That concludes the tour of my 700-day Minecraft world. I know it's not the best in the world, but it's just me enjoying the game and taking my time. And I just simply wanted to make this video just to share you guys what I built in the world. Some of you might look at it and think it's crap. Some of you might look at it and think it's sick. So if you've had any inspiration from this world, let me know down below. And I hope you take the ideas, put them into your own Minecraft world. And I hope to see you in the next video. So on that bombshell, thank you very much for watching. Peace out.